Hello everyone, I'm Alfian and today we are going to solve the LeetCode challenge on the challenge number 144 called the binary tree preorder traversal. And for this challenge, given the root of a binary tree, return the preorder traversal of its nodes values. And we have the input, the root in the form of binary tree nodes, and we have the 1, 2, 3. But for this one right here, we have value of null on the left property and right property of another node called 2, and another left node from the node 2, which is node 3. And the explanation right here, which is in preorder traversal, since 1, null, 2, and 3, then this one is supposed to be null on the left side. Let me draw this. I'm going to use the highlighter, and this one is null. And then we are going to trace this one into the array, which is 1, and then trace this one since it is the node 2 is the root of the node 3. 2, finally 3, and this is the composition of the array. Since this code we are using the TypeScript as the language, if you want to use something other than TypeScript or JavaScript, then go ahead and encourage you to do so. And since it has the root parameter of the function preorder traversal and takes only one parameter called the root, is either 3 node or null, and the expected output is in a form number array. So that is what we need to define the output as the array of sequence of each node, and if it is null, then we are not going to push anything into the array elements. And for the example 2 right here, we have the input root of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 7, and then 9. And the output is stated as 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 8, and then 9. And let me draw another visualization. And this one will come first because it is the root of the answer, and 1 will be inserted. And next one, since we are traversing on the left hand first, the left property, then of course this is the sequence of the preorder. For preorder, what it means by preorder, it means that we defining the central first, or the root, which is the parent. The next priority should be the left hand side or the left property, and lastly, which is the right hand property. But since it is a binary tree, then we need to also do the recursive call by using the recursion method. So for the first one, of course, we are assigning 1 into our array composition, pushing 1 into the array value, and the next one, which is, since the priority should be on the left hand side first, then of course we are assigning 2 the next value of the array. Then the next one should be 4 because it is still on the left and parent already assigned. Then of course we are assigning the left and right first. We are assigning 4, and then the next one, which is 4 already stated, and 5, and then left first again, 6 will be assigned. And next one, since on the left hand side, on the entire left hand side already declared, then of course we are taking the priority of the next one, which is on the right hand side or the right property. Then of course we are assigning 7 because 7 is the leaf node from the overall left property from the root node, which is the node 1 right here. And next one, we are assigning 3 because 3 takes the lower priority, lowest of them all, between the left and parent. So we are assigning 3. And next one will be 8 because 8 is a parent anyway. And finally 9. And the answer is the same as the output example right here. And for the example 3 right here, since we have null, which is possible to be null on the root parameter right here, then of course the output is null. Then we are not going to do anything about the array position. What about the example 4? On the final example, which is only has 1 value, then of course we are assigning the 1 into the array composition. So without further ado, let's solve this out. The first one, we have to create, you might want to create the recursion call right away by using the, if the root is already null, then of course we are not returning null, but we are assigning nothing. We don't push anything, but before that we need to take note of the answer array, which is the expected output of the number array right here. Then of course we are assigning the constant of the answer array of empty array. then we need to return the answer array after we complete everything. But let me tell you something, if it is return something or return nothing or just keeping this part, and the Preorder Traversal will not be triggered again. But this one, if we use the recursion call right away based on the Preorder Traversal again, Preorder Traversal, calling the root.left property, since we have the left property of the 3-node class composition, then of course the Preorder Traversal will reinitialize the answer array all over again from the start. So we will have a new instance of answer array as we do the recursion call on the left and also on the right property. So the answer array will be triggered each and every time and then we will eventually return the answer array, and then it will be confused which one has the correct answer. So this one is not the best practice of using the answer array and then just use the recursion call on the same function of this Preorder Traversal function. Then of course we need something to wrap this sequence into something that is not going to disturb the answer array. So we can just let the answer array state as it is. We can just make this answer array as persistent storage to store and to record every node that has been traversed in a sequence of Preorder Traversal, which is starting from the parent and then the left, and then finally on the right property, which takes the letter priority. So let's wrap this out into our function. A helper function. We can declare helper function called the function. We don't have to worry about the declaring the helper function inside of the Preorder Traversal function because it is a nested function, then it is not going to affect our implementation. So function called the helper and takes the node, and the node we can declare the data type as 3-node. It is possible to be 3-node or null since we are working with a TypeScript as our implementation, and the expected value should be void since it is a helper function. Then the next one, we should move this one if it is null, just in case if the node is null, then of course we're not going to return anything. And in order to use the helper function, of course we need to call the helper function that takes the root as the parameter, as the pass parameter into the parameter from the pass parameter from the main function of the Preorder Traversal. Then the root will be renamed as the node right here because we are in the helper function, and node will be processed instead of using the, if the root is null, then we can check if the node is null instead. Then if node is null, then we need to return nothing instead of pushing anything into the answer array. If it is not null, it's the other way around. Then of course we are assigning the answer array, and then push the value from the node.value. You do take notice that node.value exists because we have the class of the 3-node which has the three properties. The first one, which is the value itself, which is the node 1 right here, called the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, represented by the integer or number, and the left property, which is the another node that is structured as the binary 3, and then the right also the same as the left. And we need to use the Preorder Traversal from this part of the code. If it is null, then we need to return nothing, and it is expected as the void. If it is not null, then of course we are pushing the parent value into our answer array. Then we need to take the first priority as the parent right here, and the sequence should be the left. And finally we are assigning Preorder Traversal, not the Preorder Traversal, but the calling the recursion of the helper. I'm sorry about this. And for the root.left, we can change this to the node.left because we are using the node parameter from the helper function instead of the parent function of the root. We are using this scope of our code and taking the left property. And finally, since we are using the Preorder Traversal, then of course we are taking the right property on the back after everything has been completed on the left hand side, and we are using the node.right. And don't forget to indent this by 1 using the tab, and we are accessing the helper root, and we are going to push every answer of the array from this helper function calling itself again on the node, since calling itself again, but this one on this part is going to calling the node.left, which is the node 2 right here. And if 2 is exists, then of course this one is not going to be triggered and this one is going to be triggered. And we are accessing another node left again, which is 4 right here. 4 will be triggered on this part, and accessing this left and right side, since 4 does not have any left and right property, then of course the both if check will be triggered and we can just return and end the recursion call right away. Then we call the right after the left has been completed, then the 5 is going to be called on this part, and 5 will be calling 6 and 7, which is on the left and right respectively or sequentially. And since 6 is 7 is not null, then of course this one is not going to be triggered, and answer array.push will be triggered as the sequence from the left side first and then the right side later on. So let's run the code again to see if it works. And answer array.push will track, the answer array will track all of the record from the push value, and then we can just return the answer array right away after the all of the helper functions has been completed. So let's run the code and submit the code to see if it really works. So it looks good right away. Okay, so that's about it. I hope you understand my explanation. If you still don't understand, you can ask me in the comment section. Or if you have any better solutions regarding this challenge, tell us what you think in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have a great day and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.